Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nonverbal Communications, a Monster of the Week actual play in 3 parts. Monster of the Week is a Powered by the Apocalypse system game where the players will have to solve mysteries involving the supernatural or mythological creatures. In this episode, the players will discuss their characters, go over their backstories, and begin the mystery. It's time to put on your monster hunting gear and dust off those lore books, as Hack Recklessly proudly presents Nonverbal Communications.
Hey, my name is Norfolk911. You can find me on all platforms, including Twitter and Instagram, YouTube, everywhere that you can basically put your face on it. I'm there. So you can find me any day live on stream, Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Purple app. I will be playing the Crooked playbook as Deke Munoz.
Hi there, I am Cujo of Cujo Plays Games on all major social media platforms. I'll be playing the Mundane Playbook with Isaac Waller as my character.
Hola, buenas tardes. My name is Jonathan Perez, also known as Latinos Against Spooky Shit. I will be playing the Chosen Playbook, and my character is Mark Fredericks. Feel free to find me on all platforms as Latinos Against Spooky Shit.
And I'm LB Hackemup. I am going to be the keeper of secrets for this game. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters, the Twitches, and all other platforms. This will be broadcast on Spotify on the Hack Recklessly channel, as well as the YouTube channel. So leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment. Love to hear those. Let's begin, everyone. We're going to go around and have everybody introduce their characters, a little bit about who they are and what they do, where they grew up, their personality, and then we'll go and do our histories together. So let's start with Deke, being played by North. Haha! Give us a little bit about your character, your history, as far as your backstory and personality.
All right, so Deke Munoz is a rugged man, mid-30s. He usually walks around with like about a 5 o'clock shadow, well-worn leather jacket. It's got some patches from just like his travels and stuff on it. He's got some short black hair, got some green eyes, very charismatic type of person. His appearance is, you kind of want to look like somebody who's well known in the country, kind of. He grew up hunting supernatural creatures alongside his brother Emmanuel, and he investigated into a series of mysterious disappearances that led him into like a dark cult operating in the shadows. And in an attempt to expose them, he became entangled in supernatural phenomenon and rituals, leaving him with like an uncanny ability to like sense the unnatural. So that's kind of who he is. He normally drives like a 1967 Chevy Impala, in black. So 4 doors. It's really nice. He does carry around some necklaces and has some tattoos on his arms and stuff like that. He's about 6 foot, that type of thing. That is Deke.
And he grew up here and has hunted.
He did.
Elsewhere?
He has grown up here and he has hunted in other locations as necessary. So they do call upon his expertise in other cities.
Okay, so he's known in the hunting community already.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And like anybody who was aware of supernatural phenomenon within the town would know to talk to him about stuff.
They would know if something felt off, not necessarily they would know it's supernatural, but they felt it was like a little off. They would come and talk to him, and ask him some questions. And then he and his brother would investigate a little bit further.
And where is the brother now? Is he still around?
The brother is somewhere in town, probably most likely digging his nose into books because he likes to read, right? Deke is not a reader. He's more of an action man.
Yeah. All right.
They would say Emmanuel is like the brains, basically.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Let's go to Isaac.
Isaac is a bookshop owner in the town, has been in town most of his life, met his childhood sweetheart Anna here. The two developed a romance. Later on in life, got married, decided to open said bookshop, which we've called Something Found. It's mostly a bookshop, but as with any, older bookshops, it's got like some knickknacks, some extra stuff to like try to bring in more customers. And prior to this, Anna had gone missing and unfortunately had been found a couple months later, having been deceased. So Isaac is carrying on the business in her memory. And yeah, that's kind of his history. He dresses a little bit more nerdy, button down shirts, not with the sleeves rolled up. We're not quite in like 2000s era ish yet. So he's got
short
like
sleeve shirts on top of long sleeve shirts.
no, not there yet. He's got some wavy curly hair that he tries to style, but as with that era, it's just sort of there. There's no styling that monster. So yeah, that's Isaac.
Yeah. Do people around town know you as like personable, or do you keep to yourself?
They would know me as personable. I'd say it. I don't know if it was a shock to the town necessarily what happened with Anna, but it caught the attention of some. So some of the patrons who come into the bookshop will be there to look for a book, but in reality, they're kind of checking in on him. So he's sort of gotten used to having people around in the town who make it a point to check on him.
Yeah. And how long ago was this that your wife?
This is gonna be 6 months ago.
So still fresh.
Yes.
Okie dokie. And let's round it off with Mark.
Mark Fredericks is late 20s, disgruntled. He's just tired. His attitude is very much, I'm over it. If the pure definition of it. And the reason for that being is he grew up in a household being regaled as the chosen one, being told that he had a great destiny on his shoulders. But Mark didn't want that. Mark wanted to just be a kid and wanted to disregard responsibilities. He just wanted to live his life. And he didn't know what this destiny was or what it meant, but he didn't want to deal with it. But as he got older, he would notice things, different things that not everybody could see. The creatures that went bump in the night became more apparent, and they were less these, fictions of imagination, or figments. English isn't my first language. Figments of his imagination. They became more tangible. At 18, though, the eve of his 18th birthday, when he was going to be given his prophecy and told what his ultimate goal in this life was, he decided to leave. He decided to leave and run from his West Coast town all the way across the country. So now he doesn't stay in one place too long. He settles, kind of finds a rhythm, and then the things that go bump the night tend to find him. And so it's been like that for the last decade, and he's just tired of it, to the point that it's not anything more than an inconvenience of going, I have to deal with this again and move. So he stands at about 6 foot. He's not a giant man by any means. He's athletic, but in the same way that a soccer player would be. He's got slicked back hair, kind of brown, auburn even, brown eyes, very, very average for what a chosen would look like in any culture. But he's just trying to live life as normal as possible.
Awesome. How long have you been in this town?
He doesn't stay in towns longer than a couple months before he has to move. So he's been here maybe a month or two at this point in time.
So you're new to town.
Fresh off the boat.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Does anyone have any questions about anyone's character so far? Okay. Let's start histories. Does anyone have any that jumped out right away for somebody else?
Oh, for sure.
Same.
Who wants to go first?
Well, go ahead, Jonathan. You're excited.
Again, with Mark living a life of like being constantly hunted down by supernatural creatures for whatever reason, he would have met Isaac in the library. And I think at one point in time, they would have crossed paths regarding his wife and the loss and the disappearance of, probably. Mark probably had no say in how they found her. It was more of a like help me help you type of thing, and ultimately neither of them came to anything. So Isaac kind of did it on his own, but Mark is the one that kind of pulled the veil back a little bit for him and like, hey, there's some shitty things out there.
I had something similar with regards to Mark, and it was that they introduced Isaac to the existence of monsters and things that go up in the night. I think it was It's something that he is very strongly he's essentially trying to go back and take the blue pill, especially over the last few months. He's trying to ignore what he has seen and just move forward. And that is the problem, because there was somebody else that was involved, and that is Mr. Deke. And Isaac has a somewhat okay relationship with Mark. Isaac does not trust Deke as far as he can throw him, just based on his overall behavior and the way he puts himself out there. So he very much is like, no, you're gonna be on the opposite side of town from me. I do not associate with that kind of person.
I would say the history that I have is that I know of Mark being in the city because I just know when new people come in, just because I keep a close eye on things in the city to make sure that nothing supernatural comes in. I do know Isaac. So Isaac, I know as an acquaintance. I don't really speak to Isaac more. My brother Emmanuel knows him more and has a better relationship with him because he's a little bit more personable and he does look up more things with books. I think if he had an inkling of what we did, he would be a little bit more scared. And I'm talking about Isaac on what we do. And Emmanuel has more of a finesse about him with like what he's asking and how he's asking it to gather the information that's needed for their hunts. So he has a better working relationship with Isaac, and that's where I would go with our history.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys all are sort of aware of each other. Have Mark and Deke hunted together before?
I think we've
come across the
crossed
same
paths.
Mhm.
I think we have unknowingly crossed paths. I don't think we've actually hunted together.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever hunted, but you keeping a tab on everybody that comes and goes on such a small town, and especially with the magnetism that I have towards drawing in the supernatural towards me, I think that I've been on your radar for a while, but we've never had a deeper conversation other than in passing.
Just because I have traveled a lot, so I've heard of Mark in my travels, but never necessarily spoken to Mark directly. But I know of his lucky or unlucky experiences with the supernatural.
All right, sounds good to me. Any questions moving forward?
Where do babies come from?
Well, that's a story for another time.
In that case, let us begin.
The year is 1992. Cell phones are becoming more accessible, but the average customer will have to wait a few years for them to become more affordable. Aladdin and Batman Returns are in theaters. Cartoon Network has just established itself. The Mall of America just opened its doors, and Nirvana's Nevermind has rocketed to number 1 on the charts. But our story takes place in the city of Bernard, Maine, known as the quiet side of the Mount Desert Island. The more inhabited and much more visited Bar Harbor sits to the east of the island, while Bernard rests to the southwestern side. Though it's still part of the beautiful Arcadia National Park, it boasts a more easygoing manner than the more populated areas on the island. There are 2 roads in, Lobster Boat Road and Bernard Road, both leading down to the tip of the island to the beautiful coastline filled with docks and boats aplenty. The beautiful Lopez Point Lighthouse stands guard at the most southern tip, warning sailors of the treacherous rocks that surround it. No one would suspect that this quiet town lay mysterious secrets. For an unknown reason, there have been an above-average number of supernatural occurrences. Ghost ships, strange shapes in and out of the water, and plenty of residents acting out of the normal. On this particular Monday in October, the air is cool, and the clouds add a gloomy overcast to the turning leaves of the landscape. A cutting breeze washes over the town as the midday bustle begins. Let's go and see where our hunters are. Let's start with Jonathan. What is Mark up to on a Monday afternoon?
Monday afternoon, Mark is getting a coffee after a weekend of once again hiding his trail, whether that's getting rid of old clothes that have his scent, and throwing him in the dump, burning him in a pile, or whatever that means for him and whatever he feels is tracking him again. And it's less of a panicked ritual as more of a consistent, oh God, I have to do this every couple weekends type of deal. So he's down at his local coffee shop. And I think by this point he's been here enough times where he recognizes some of the people. And he's just getting his order. And he thinks, perchance, that there's something that's been after him here locally. Not that followed him, but that recognizes him here, but he hasn't been able to pick up on anything.
Yeah, you grab your order, you take a seat at one of the tables, and you see one of the locals. Obviously, there are only locals here. You see one of the patrons who is a frequent of this place, an older gentleman. He's got grayed hair. He's wearing a sweater vest and a flat cap. You know him as one of the ship captains. There's a lot of boats around here that do fishing and crabbing and all that sort of fun stuff. You know his name is Frank. He always reads the morning paper, and you see him sort of look at the title page, the main page, and sort of scoffs and shakes the paper out in an old man grumpy manner before setting it down and placing his arm on the table, like drinking his coffee while scowling out into the distance.
I think having been here, even though a short amount of time, but reading people, I'm gonna walk over to Captain Frank here. I'm gonna pull the chair out and be like, "Well, Captain Frank, what's got you in a gruff this morning? Somebody spin your coffee again?"
He makes an old man sound, which is sort of like a throaty, like cough, and he sort of moves the paper over so you can see that there is a sort of a headline about like local fairs that are happening. This is a paper of the island, not necessarily just Bernard. And you notice that there is below the main article, sort of on the bottom left side, an article about rough waters that happened last week, Tuesday, Wednesday. And he's sort of taking a sip of his coffee and says, "This is bullshit. The waters were clear. I don't know what all these captains are saying about the rough waters. I just know what I saw. I know the fish weren't there. The weather was fine where I was."
So you're having some fishing problems. You think captains are lying? You think they're trying to, drive down business?
I think this is big weather corporation trying to bring us down, telling us not to go out and fish. Last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no fish. I saw 0 fish while I was out there. It was a bad week, but as soon as Friday hit, hordes of fish coming in. And I'm not going to tell you where, because of course that's my secret.
Right.
It's just odd. And I think that big weather is trying to come in and tell us that it was just the weather, but the weather was fine.
It's those damn weather machines
Trying to take over. You know how I find out what the weather is? I look at the sky.
That's right.
In the sky, you see the clouds? You know what's happening when you look at the clouds. If they start to turn dark, guess what's going to happen? Bad weather. Red sky at night, sailors delight. Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. It's easy.
Well, I would know. You haven't taken me on your boat yet. You keep saying you will.
Well, not for fishing, because that's my secret spot. If you want to go out for
just burlap sack.
Burlap sack, you say? I could do that.
Yeah, we'll go out. We'll have a few brewskis. You'll regale me about the time, because you've been fishing for a hot minute. I mean, you look like you've been salted and dried.
Thank you.
45
years I've been out there. 45.
That's a long time. Let me get you.
I was fishing with my pappy and his pappy before him.
I mean, you guys are practically fish yourselves.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Fish are very scaly. I am not scaly.
I look at his crusty old man hand. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, Captain Frank, let me get you a scone, okay?
If they have the lavender ones, please, that would be.
It's not a scone if it ain't lavender. I go buy him one.
Nods.
Yeah. I bring him back to him, and he's like, "You done with the paper, or you still?"
Nah, this is all bullshit anyways. I'm just gonna go back to my book. And he pulls out a book, and it's surprising. Like, it's just Dracula
and it's been gone through many a times, especially the middle section, which if you guys have read Dracula, you know the middle section is where they do the voyage of the Demeter, where it's the ship captain. He's just been reading that part. It's his favorite,
just
again.
That part alone. The rest of it pristine, but the middle part, I love that. All right, Captain Frank. Hey, I'll see you out in the harbor at some point. Okay. I'll take the paper and kind of just peruse it as I head out. I want to do a quick, just gauge my environment, whether that's a sharp or anything else, just to see if, again, because I've been on the lam for the last decade.
Yeah.
Just to get a gauge to see if there's anything that I can sense that might be.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and read a bad situation? So roll plus sharp.
A 9.
Okay. You can hold one. So from either from the list of questions, or if you're just trying to say, are there any dangers you haven't noticed, sort of situation?
Yeah, just any dangers I haven't noticed.
You kind of take a look around, notice the bustle of the midday. This is the time of day when a lot of ships are out and gone. So it's the only people on the land are people who live and work on the land. So there's quite a few people out and about. There's not like a big office sort of environment here,
right? Not exactly
so when people take lunch, they just kind of put a sign in the window and go get their lunch. But it doesn't seem to be, it's quieter than usual, I would say. Like, people aren't really talking a lot. There seems to be, and as you like look around there, even in the atmosphere, there seems to be a bit more of a fog around, as if even the air is a little bit heavy, which is new for the past like week or so, but it does seem to be sort of settling in more than it has been recently.
In that case, Mark's gone through the library before here, and it's such a small town that they don't update their stuff as often as he'd like, but he knows one place that does get new books and new content a little bit more regularly. He's gonna head over to Isaac's shop.
Okay, and we will get to that in just a moment. Let's find out what Deke is up to. What are you doing on a Monday afternoon?
So Monday afternoon, we just came back from a hunt not too long ago, about a day or two ago. So my brother Emmanuel and myself are just hanging out back at our kind of lounge area. We have our house, I guess is what you would say. And we're eating some pie, because pie is delicious at any time of the day, really.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of kicking it over the last hunt, the things that we've done. We're just cleaning stuff up, so whatever weapons we had with us, so like our knives and stuff and just charms and things like that, we're kind of just putting it all together and just making sure things are set to go. I did pick up the paper, because that's a ritual that I do every day, is pick up the local paper and just talk to my brother Emmanuel, really. That's really it.
Yeah, I think if you're working on cleaning, he'll have a couple of charts up, weather maps and the papers that you have missed over the last couple days that you've been gone. And he's kind of thumbing through them, circling things. He's also like looking at papers from out of town, the greater state stuff, to see if there's any like new hunts that you guys could pick up. And I think that as he's sort of thumbing through, he kind of like just kind of mentions like, you think the fog's weird?
Ooh, what about the fog?
Well,
weird.
I mean, this time of year, there's fog, but not all day, right? There's like the dew in the morning, and then there's fog, but not this much fog. Am I looking too hard at stuff?
Maybe. I mean, honestly, the fog isn't. Emmanuel, what are you talking about, dude? Like, the fog is fog. It comes and goes all the time. Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, maybe I've just been on hunts too long. Maybe we need a vacation.
We've been hitting it almost every weekend for the last couple of weeks. I think a little bit of a vacation will be due soon.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
What about the fog has got you all worked up? Like, I mean, it's fog, dude. Like, it's weather. You can't control weather, can you? Like,
well, you know, supernatural occurrences happen with like lightning storms and fogs and different like tornadoes. Anything could be a sign of the supernatural. And when anything's a sign of the supernatural, everything could be a sign of the supernatural. So,
I mean,
but what I'm just saying is this fog seems to be thicker than normal fog. But again, I might be looking into it too much because I can't see anything other than supernatural occurrences.
I mean, Emmanuel, like, fog is fog, dude. Like, how thick is this fog? Like, I mean, sometimes it's dense. We live next to the harbor, so like, you know, some days are thicker than others. It's a normal natural weather occurrence. I mean, what's the whole big idea? Like, I don't understand this. I mean, I think what you need is really pie. You really need that natural apple pie.
Life isn't all about pie, Deke.
It sometimes is, you know. You need a hard outer layer and a smushy center. Just saying.
Gross.
It's delicious.
You know, I'm gonna look at this for I'm gonna say 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna go take a walk.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead while you're taking a walk. Why don't you show me what's really bothering you? Like, what about the weather, so I could take a look at it?
Okay, and he sort of like pulls out one of the maps, and you see there's a bunch of markings on it, and he's like, okay, so from what I gathered from the papers, and I talked to a few people this morning, there was a fog that came in that was from the sea, and it came across, and it came up from the south, which is unnatural. I guess it could be natural. I don't know, weather patterns. It came up from the south, hit the southern coast of the eastern seaboard, and just kind of rode up the coast for a while, and now it's kind of settled here.
So it hasn't gone away? How long has this been going on?
Looks like earlier this week or earlier last week.
Okay, see, you could have led with that. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, Deke.
It's just saying, you know, you're like, fog, what about the fog? You know,
I don't know. It could just be that the fog is sitting here, and then tomorrow it's gonna be gone. I don't know.
Well, I mean, let's go ahead and take a look into it. Like, maybe, don't you have that friend you can go visit? Like, we have some libraries you can go take a look. Like, have you looked into it any further? I can go take a look at, you know, what our sheriff or municipality is saying about this fog, or maybe talk to the people at the harbor. You know, the fishermen know more than we do about fog.
Yeah. Okay. Finish your pie. I'm gonna go and talk to the harbor master, see if I can find anything out. If he's not there, just walk around the docks a little bit, see what I can find out when people start coming in later. But
all right. Well, you know, there's a couple people we can go talk to, right? So let's go start.
You have friends, right?
I have plenty of friends, of course. Everybody loves me. Come on now, like, somebody out there is definitely got something going on. So let's go and talk to some people over at the police station, you know, neighborhood watch or whatever these guys do, and see what's going on and what they've been seeing about this fog. And let's meet up here around 3 and see what's going on.
Okay. Don't stop to pick up chicks, okay?
I would never, as he just eye rolls and looks away.
He shakes his head. All right. Back at the bookshop, Something Found. Okay, what is Isaac up to at Something Found?
Isaac is frozen as he is stocking one of the shelves. The Pelican Brief had just recently come out, so that is the one that is flying off the shelves a little bit, but he is kind of lost in the moment as he is thinking about the phone call that has haunted him since everything with Anna. He kind of eventually shakes his head and continues stocking the shelves, and he's sort of trying to busy himself as he used to, but it's like riding a bike with only one tire. It's very, very challenging to do because the one person who was there with him is no longer there. So he's sort of trying to go through the motions as best he can, put on a friendly smile for those who come in, but mainly focusing on work.
Yeah. As you are stocking the shelves, you kind of in this moment, you're quickly brought out of it as the doorbell rings, as the door is swung open and kind of slams. And as you look over, you see someone you know very well. Jennifer Disden is someone who's lived in this town her whole life. She is a early 30s, dark skin, curly brown hair, just gorgeous. She's the owner of the Maine Food Mart, which is the local grocery store. And she seems very distressed, angry, and determined as she like throws open the door, looks around, locks eyes on you, and like walks very quickly over to you.
If you're looking for Anne Rice, it's in the corner. Is everything all right?
No, it's not all right. I need a book or anything you have on the way a person could drown on land.
As in like a natural occurrence or a mystery novel?
There is some bullshit that is happening in this town. I'm fucking sick of it. And I just found out that Jolene was found dead, and you see her start crying. You know that Jolene Summers is Jennifer's cousin, and you see her start to like get upset, but she kind of pulls it back for a second as she takes a moment. She's like, and the cops are saying that she drowned, but she was found in her living room, and she is a ship captain. She's not going to just drown. She knows how to swim, and in her fucking living room. This is just...
Okay. And he's going to like put his hands up and just slowly step forward and like pull her into a hug.
She kind of embraces you for a moment, or lets you embrace her. She takes that moment and then kind of...
Okay, just take a second, breathe. Now, I don't think I'm gonna have anything on that. I apologize. This is the first time I'm hearing of it. If you don't mind my ask, no, please, you don't have to apologize. I understand probably better than most. What are you? When did this happen?
She was found on Thursday. She was in her house, in her living room, and I don't know. I wasn't supposed to see her until next week anyways, but she's normally out on her ship every day, and they came in and they looked and they said, oh, well, she drowned, and then left it at that. Like, nobody investigates the weird shit that happens in this town, and now it's happening to someone I love, and I feel like I'm helpless. I don't know what to do.
As she is saying all these things, the memory of the phone call and of finding Anna and of the panic that he heard in the voice on the phone that sounded exactly like her and exactly what he was feeling. And he's got one hand in his pocket, and it's holding his keys, and he squeezes them very tightly to try and ground himself, remind him that he's here and not in that moment. He takes a second to gather himself and says, okay. Here's what I can do. Why don't you take a seat? And I'm going to see if would I know other family members of Jennifer that were in town, maybe?
Yeah, there's a lot. Not a ton. It's like her family, and then she has a couple cousins and aunts and uncles that live close or in town.
Okay. I'm going to make sure she is seated and somewhat calm, and just sort of give like a half comforting look to everybody else who might be in the shop, and just kind of say to give her some space. And then he's going to approach the phone, take a second looking at the phone before picking it up, and he's going to call one of those relatives just to say, hey, Jennifer has arrived here. I've just been made aware. Is there anything that you guys need?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think maybe you call Jolene's family, like her mother. It's still very fresh for them, and I think that they, at this point, they're like very appreciative, but like, I'm sure many people have sent over casseroles at this point, and they appreciate you calling, but at this point there's nothing that they need from you specifically. They have their family around and stuff like that. They're basically in the midst of planning the funeral, so it's pretty...
Yeah, he'll respectfully say he's a phone call away if they need anything. He's going to honestly struggle to figure out how best to comfort Jennifer, because the last thing he wants to do is believe that there's something weird at work.
Yeah.
So he is considering maybe calling the coffee shop to see if maybe they can bring something over. Maybe he can just put it on a tab or something like that.
Yeah. I think that as you're doing this, she kind of touches your arm and like very earnestly looks up at you and just kind of gives a, nobody is helping me. Will you please help me? And as that happens, Mark, you make your way into the bookstore. There's a couple people milling about. It's a single story facility, many rows of books very tightly packed, but you do see like sort of next to the cash register desk, there is this woman sitting on a chair, and Isaac is sort of standing over her and like comforting her as she's like looking up to him very like pointedly and like trying to plead for help at this point.
I think just coffee in hand and not reading the situation, having just come in at the end of it. Do you need a moment? I can come back.
There's stock in the, I should go, there's stock in the back. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. If you just give me a moment, I think I have something I can look at. And he is going to very quickly and briskly turn a 180 and walk away from Mark.
I'm gonna come up to the counter, put my coffee down, like very unaware that you're actively trying to avoid me. And I'm gonna look back at what was her name? Jennifer?
The girl sitting is Jennifer, yes.
Jennifer. Be like, I know you from town. I think I've seen you around.
Yeah, I own the grocery store.
You own the grocery store. I love getting your produce there. Fresh stuff. Good fish.
Thanks.
Yeah. You seem okay?
There's a lot going on right now, and it's just kind of stuff that always happens in this town, and it's just frustrating when it happens close to home.
Feel that? I guess I don't actually. I don't know much about what's going on back home, but this isn't about me. What do you got going on? Maybe I can help.
I mean, unless you know anything about spontaneous drownings on land.
Choke on my. First of all, dry drowning is the appropriate term for when it happens medically. But secondly, who? Was it somebody close to you?
My cousin. I mean, we're like 2 years apart in age, so we basically grew up together.
Would I know her cousin? Having being familiar with like Captain Frank and like the rest of the captains.
Yeah, she was more to herself. She was a homebody of sorts, so you might have seen her around. Like you might recognize her if you saw a picture of her. But if you haven't been in town that long, she spends a lot of time out on the boats.
On the boat and then right back home.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, this town has probably like 1,000 people in it, so
I've seen them, but I wouldn't know them intimately. Got it.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
God, I'm sorry to hear that. You must have been close. Was this recent then?
Yeah, apparently it happened on Thursday.
I have the newspaper. Can I kind of go through the obituaries really quickly and discreetly to see if I can find something from Thursday?
Yeah, it wouldn't be on Thursday, but it would be
or whatever it was
in the weekend paper. Yeah, that there is like just a quick obituary, and it says nothing about how she died. It's just like died in her home. She is survived by her mother and father and family members. The funeral will be on Wednesday.
Did they include a little picture of her? I'm gonna look at it and be like, oh, she was a captain.
Yeah, I mean, she was gonna retire soon. There's, the lighthouse she was gonna take over lighthouse duties, but I guess I'm sure somebody else will step up.
That's a rough way to go for a captain, which is a weird way to go. Sorry if I'm speaking out of place. That just seems, somebody who spends so much time on the ocean.
Yeah.
Do they suspect foul play or?
That's the best part. They don't. They think it was an accident.
I don't think I believe in accidents.
Seems pretty far-fetched to me.
Does sound a little weird. It does. Give me 1 second, because I think I'm gonna find Isaac for a second. I think he can help us on this one. Do you want anything? A coffee? I can probably reach over, grab the phone. I can call something in, see if they can bring it.
No, it's fine. I just need a minute.
Okay. I take a sip of mine. I'm like, if you want any of mine, it's this new thing, pumpkin latte. I don't know. I'll be right back.
She kind of like looks at you, looks at the cup, and like looks a little disgusted. Would it be plausible for Deke to make his way to the bookshop?
I think he could. I think so. What I would say is what happens with Deke when his brother goes out is that he doesn't like to show that he's smarter than the average bear. So he takes a closer look at all of the things that his brother Emmanuel has put together and kind of deciphers the best course of action is to go look at something and find maybe a book that he needs that the library may not have, but knows that Isaac is in town. So he probably makes his way over to Isaac's bookstore and doesn't really have anything in mind except for like trying to find a book, basically.
Yeah, so I think you would sort of walk into the shop and look around, maybe try to find some books of weather patterns for like history of the local, whatever it is.
Yeah, like an almanac or something
Exactly.
to kind of like, he's trying to come up with he's trying to come up with like a logical solution to why the fog is lingering and thicker than normal this time of year. So he's probably looking at like what the farmer's almanac is saying and things like that. So that's probably what he's looking for.
Yeah, you kind of make your way to the back of the bookshop where all of like the atlases and the historical texts, the nonfiction historical texts are. Just as Mark has gone past, you kind of are trailing each other and you don't quite see Mark go in the back as Mark goes to talk to Isaac. But if things start to get a little loud, or if you start to eavesdrop in, you might hear something.
I'm gonna just kind of mind my own business and see them on the peripheral, but not kind of pay mind to it. It's just kind of searching on the bookshelf, kind of just going through. And I do notice, Jennifer at the beginning, but like again, I'm so zoned in, right?
You're on a hunt.
I'm on a hunt, so like my mindset is just going straight to the source and trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay. What is Isaac doing in the back?
Isaac is sitting in the office trying so desperately to remember what his therapist has been telling him, which is to not associate with people who bring forth those triggers of the bad thoughts and the bad memories. He is thinking of a way to close the shop for the day and leave before he has to interact with Mark, but we'll say that he is literally in the middle of doing that as Mark walks in.
Yeah, because I imagine it's door into the back room, back storage area, and then another door into your office somewhere in a corner.
It's not a large storage area.
No, by no means. No. Yeah. No, I definitely push it open, let it close behind me. I'm like, Isaac, are you in here? Isaac. I'm gonna keep perusing around until I see the door. Does it have windows to look in?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna tap on the window and then point to the door.
Isaac is going to begrudgingly stand and very nervously open the door. Hi, can I help you?
Isaac. Jennifer's really just she's going through it, man. Yeah. She said she was waiting on you. You helping out with this?
I don't have anything I can do. Unfortunately, it sounds like it was an accident, and that the police unfortunately couldn't find anything.
Okay, awesome.
Are they within earshot? Like I can hear the conversation.
It's not a big space. You probably could overhear something. Yeah.
So like I'm paying attention, and once he said police, I kind of like don't look, but like my ear caught it, and I'm like, huh?
You take the book and like walk backwards. So your back is up to the wall. The door's on your right.
Yeah, the door's kind of. I'm like, what's going on? I don't want them to know that I'm paying attention, but I'm paying attention now.
Yeah, no, I get it. The police, the one guy here, and then the police, the town over. I don't mean to bring up the past here, but
we're not going to bring up the past. In fact,
Okay.
we shouldn't bring up the past.
Okay. First of all, let's deep breath in, deep breath out.
Oh, I'm well aware of the techniques that my therapist tells me to
in
do.
For 1, out for 4. All right.
Okay,
We're like, listen. Okay.
I need you to go. I'm sorry, but I need you to go. And I wish I could do something, but I can't. So unless you want a copy of The Tale of the Body Thief from Anne Rice.
At this point, I'm like, huh?
I think voice, with that voice having gotten elevated a little bit, I'm like, okay, all right. Listen, I just need to grab a couple books. I'm gonna chat with Jennifer a little bit, and then I'll get out of your hair. I'll try to get her out of your hair. Listen. I just want you to know, if it had been up to me, I wouldn't have. You wouldn't. Like.
I understand.
Okay.
And I appreciate that, but I just need to.
You do whatever. I'm gonna start walking away, but before I leave, but just really quickly, take it from somebody who's been running away from this for the last 10 years. You can't. It's there. And no amount of therapy, no amount of pills, no amount of anything is going to make that go away. So I'm sorry for that. See you around, Isaac.
As he's finishing that last sentence, I put 2 and 2 together in my brain and realize this is the Mark that I know about. So I kind of not tail him, but I keep a closer eye on what Mark is doing.
Before Mark, you leave the back room. You kind of turn, and as you are shutting the door, you have a move that you do at the beginning of a mystery, don't you?
Do.
What is it?
Destiny's Plaything. At the beginning of each mystery, roll plus weird to see what is revealed about your immediate future. On a 10+, Keeper will reveal a useful detail about the coming mystery. 7 to 9, you get a vague hint about it, and on a miss, something bad is going to happen to me.
All right. Why don't we go ahead and roll this?
Let's roll my weird.
Roll plus weird, please.
Shit.
Oh boy.
The hot. You know what?
Coming out the gate?
Out the gate, I'm going to use a luck.
All right. When you use your luck, what happens?
It just turns it into a 12.
Yeah. Yes, but your luck special is...
Oh, shoot. I didn't... The chosen Mark.
Yeah. The Keeper will bring your fate into play.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're ready for that? Right off the gate?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. On a 6? Yes, absolutely.
So as you are turning to leave, and Isaac, you can see this sort of as he just kind of stops. So out of 10+, the Keeper will reveal a useful detail about the coming mystery. Mark, your eyes sort of glaze over as your vision shifts. You kind of move into the fog. And as you do, you hear the sounds of water splashing around. You hear the sound of laughter. And as this laughter sort of erupts, it's at first very jovial. And as it continues, it becomes very painful. And this chuckling, this laughter becomes a scream as you see before you the face of a man twisted in a frozen scream, the body decaying. You see more fog as you shift forward. There is a light golden sort of passing around your vision. And as it does, you see the form of a taller gentleman, someone that you've seen in town, as Deke sort of stands before you, looking back as the light passes over him. And as it comes around another time, you see Isaac sort of reaching out towards you as if to help you in some way before he then submerges underneath your vision as he is pulled away from your view. And you reach out towards him, and as you do, you feel a presence before you. Instinctually, you sort of grab behind you, and as you do, a golden arrow goes into your hand as you pull it back and you aim towards this being. Isaac, you see before you as Mark sort of makes this motion with his hand, a golden bow appears in his hand and a golden arrow. As he pulls it back, and right before he releases, Mark, your vision comes back and you see for a moment this vision of this, and you can feel it in your hand, this golden arrow and bow. And as you realize it, it dissipates from your hand.
And I saw all this.
You could have definitely peeked around the corner when you started seeing glowing yellow light.
I'm just like peeking around the corner.
Isaac, you see Mark before you, and you're kind of shocked in this vision, and like just beyond as your vision like moves past Mark, there is Deke sort of like peeking Scooby-Doo style around the corner.
Isaac just goes, of course he's also here. Isaac is going to slowly approach Mark and just put a hand on his shoulder. I don't know what that was, but are you all right?
Yeah, no, I'm... Ooh. Anybody need a coffee? I need a coffee.
Coffee sounds good.
I need a sugar. I need a lot of sugar. I think after visions, Mark needs to like just consume heaps of sugar.
Please tell me Mark goes up to Jennifer and takes his coffee back out of her hand to drink it.
Scoops it out of her hand. Yeah, I pretend to stretch from archer pose to be like, so y'all.
Oh, I definitely saw that.
Yeah, what am I doing in my store?
Hey, what did I do to you? Why you gotta give me that tone?
Yeah, even I'm like, he's a customer, Isaac.
That's wonderful. That's really, really great that he's just a customer. You know, I fixed my door lock, by the way. Thank you for asking.
Look, we're not gonna bring that back up, all right? It was that one time.
It's
broke into a bookstore. What kind of a...
It was late at night. We needed information. I apologized and paid for the store for the door.
Yeah, it was a really great explanation I had to give to the insurance company on why my front door was kicked in. Thank you.
But I paid for it. Why'd you get an insurance claim?
Listen, if you both...
Hey, don't let me in with him. I'm doing my own thing.
I'm just, honestly, all I wanted, and I kind of just show him this almanac that I'm holding in my hand for the past 5 to 10 minutes as I see this glowing figure, because I didn't really get to see it as I was peeking around the corner, and it dissipated.
You got the trail end of it.
Yeah, I got that like at the end of it all, so I didn't really get to see what happened, but I got to see a glowing aura, I would call it. And I don't really mention it because I don't want it to be weird between Mark and I. So I kind of just like nonchalantly just be like, hi, So I'm sorry, Isaac, for your door. I don't know what else you want from me and my brother. I mean,
so you guys know each other.
Unfortunately,
he knows my brother more than me. I come in once in a blue moon.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, it's to find him in the adult section, but what a surprise.
You have an adult section? Let's just start wandering.
It's kept out of public view. Okay.
Well, you're the one that stocks it, all right? Someone needs to buy these things, all right?
Stocking. What are you doing? Peeking around the corner at? Does he what?
What happened is
I'm gonna look to Deke instead. I'm gonna be like, never mind. You
yes
look around?
Yes.
Is this another thing where you guys are like, what? You talk to each other's minds or something? You can read each other's body language? What's happening?
We just have a thing.
There's an unspoken thing here. Okay.
Okay. I do.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
No,
okay.
Don't make it weird, Isaac.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. I'm not making anything weird at the end of the day. I just need, if you two are doing...
Look, Isaac, seriously, I am sorry about your door. All right?
It's not the door at this point. I just need, if you two are up to...
I'm not up to anything, buddy.
Something.
I just met her. I honestly just wanted to... and I keep showing the almanac. I'm like, I just wanted this almanac.
What do you want an almanac for? I look at you, I'm like, you don't look like a captain. You don't look like the type to study.
Look, there's been, and I face Mark as he's asking these questions, and I'm like, look, there's just been some weird stuff that I need some explanations with, and it's got to do something with a fog. I'm looking at the almanac if it's supposed to be denser fog this time of year or whatnot. And
Denser fog.
I've been out of town for a while, and my brother's got something going on, and he thinks something's weird about this fog. So I'm just looking at this almanac. That's all it is.
I'm so over this. I just want a peaceful Monday. I'm not asking.
Oh, you want a peaceful Monday? You want one? And I'm gonna grab the almanac and just walk to the front counter.
I'm just gonna look at him like rude, bro. Like that was in my hands, and like I'm gonna turn to Mark and be like, "Do you want the pie? Pie?
Are you? Is that a euphemism?
No, nah, not this case. I was just asking about pie.
Like, do we want to go get pie? I mean, I need
to go get pie. There's no wrong with pie.
Let's go get your almanac and let's hold on.
I'll go get the almanac and whatnot. And you want something to drink too? Because I could get you some coffee. You look kind of tired.
Well, yeah, no, I have a coffee waiting for me at the front there.
You mean the one that the girl just downed? Like, she didn't like it though.
Why'd she down it? God damn it. As I make my way to the front.
Isaac, you make your way to the front and you see that the chair was previously occupied by Jennifer is empty. There is a note left on the counter that says she is going to go talk to the harbor master. Please, if you can.
Ooh, love letter.
He's going to look at the note and focus and scan the almanac, key in with his cash register. It's $13.95 for the almanac. I included a special 20% off coupon, just in case you needed to save some money. Think of it as a friendly gesture. Now, if you please, I have to close early because I need to schedule an emergency therapy appointment. So if you don't mind.
And he, as he's saying this, Deke knows about the passing. So he empathizes with Isaac. Doesn't really mention it. He kind of he understands that he's going through a lot. So he just looks down, opens his wallet, takes out a 20 and just gives him the 20 and walks away. And as he's walking out the door, he's like, "Hey, Mark, you want to go get that coffee and the pie?" And moves on.
Yeah, no, I'll catch up.
I'll wait for you outside. I got a car. Yeah. I got a car. I'll bring the car around. We can go drive to the.
Yeah. Just. Yeah.
You go do that, and I kind of, as I'm pushing the door open, the bell rings, the little bell above the door, and I stop for a second, and I look back, and I want to say something to Isaac, but I don't, and I just hold it to myself and put my head down and walk out the door.
I don't know what's going on with you and Deke. Seems like a nice guy. I'm gonna be honest with you though. I didn't finish getting the books that I needed.
What do you need?
I'm so sorry to make you go through this twice, but listen, you were there. You saw what I saw. Give me sailor ship folklore. Give me whatever you got that involves the history of the harbor and folklore.
Isaac is going to steel himself and go and grab a couple books for Mark and similarly ring them up. This should work. I'm sorry I couldn't be more help.
No, you listen, this shit isn't fun to deal with, okay? I get it. I do. But it's easier to deal with when you've got people that know what you're dealing with. I'm sure therapy's great, and I'm hey, bro therapy here, but it's hard to get somebody to understand you when they don't understand you. So I'm gonna slide them just a note with the number at the hotel that I stay at. I'm like, listen, you ever want to actually talk about it? You let me know. If you want to forget it ever happened, I get it. Trust me, every day for the last decade. But anywho, what are you, bud?
He's going to hold the note that Jennifer left, and he's going to think about Anna. God damn it. And he's going to turn and walk back into the storage area and walk back into his office. He's going to grab his coat and his keys and also reach into his drawer and look at the revolver that he had recently purchased. And he's going to pocket it. And he's going to walk back out. Jennifer went to the harbor master. We shouldn't let her go alone. And he's going to approach and flip the sign to closed and just gesture for Mark. It's on the house. Just let's go.
Okay, fuck. Sorry. Okay, putting back a bunch of ones in my wallet. A bunch of ones. I'm so sorry. I thought, okay, I did read.
Do you
the
have
right.
a bunch of ones? Actually, you know what? I don't need the answer to that question.
No, it's not what you think. It's this town. They don't always have change for bigger things as we walk out the door.
The shop door closes behind you as you lock it. The Impala pulls out in front, and you see Mark and Isaac standing in front of the building.
I kind of roll down the window because, 92. And I kind of be like, you want to come get some pie?
Jennifer went to the harbor master to figure out what's going on. We'll fill you in on the way.
All right, harbor master it is.
Pie afterwards.
Afterwards. I think pie is good.
I open the passenger
And
seat
it's
on my
yes.
Isaac, front, back.
Back is fine. It doesn't really
Okay.
matter.
When I sit in, I look over at Deacon and I'm like, I kind of thumb over at Isaac. And just kind of,
I just like I don't know. It's a long story, and I just kind of just turn up the music a little bit. Classic rock is playing. Tune into the news station for the area because it makes me aware of what's going on since I've been gone for a couple days.
and as nauseous as it makes Mark, he's gonna read in the car.
Oh,
Okay, all right. Bold move, bold move. It's a 4-minute drive from the bookstore. It's a very small town.
I'm a fast reader.
Thank you so much for joining us for our first episode of Nonverbal Communications. Join us next time where the mystery deepens and our hunters find themselves in some deep water. If you enjoy our shows, please leave them a like or a comment to let us know what you think. And as always, hack recklessly.